Jake Ludington here at HP Discover, and I'm here with Chris and Greg Tinker from the Enterprise Business Services of HP, and you guys are Master Technicians. Maybe you can explain to me what that is.
Go ahead, Greg. Sure. Hi, Jake. So thank you for having us here, and as you mentioned, we are Master Technologists. So we work in what's called the HP Technical Services arm of Enterprise Business Unit of HP. And what our role is both reactive and proactive in the sense that when a client has a support contract with HP, we actually will basically leverage our technical ability, not just my brother and I, but we have a huge team of complex master technologists and others that work to basically help customers mitigate their risk, business risk, by achieving a good technical solution that meets their needs.
Absolutely, Greg. And to further on that, we also debug situations when corporations, businesses are impacted by technology going awry or going wrong. We of course debug those situations and bring it to a resolution.
So what would be a scenario where somebody might call you guys in? Because obviously when you reach out for the first level of support, I assume that's not, you guys aren't picking up the phone.
It's a good question. It comes back down to when technology goes awry, what is the failing component? And identifying that component, whether it be the application, operating system stack, or the hardware. And of course, everything in between. So you have these multi-vendor situations where the multi-vendors are sitting there struggling, identifying which is the actual root cause. Or our organization, we debug and identify the actual true root cause and work with whatever division we need to work with, who actually wrote the actual software or hardware, to bring that to resolution.
Now, do you guys specialize in anything particular, operating systems, platforms, any of that?
Good question, Jake. And yeah, my brother and I, well, we don't specialize in any one per se. We are basically C code debuggers, meaning we work on any operating system, and a lot of us in the Master Technologist world do just that. We work on any basic operating system, it's HPUX, AIX, doesn't matter if it's HP or third party. We do any version of Linux. We have multiple publications in that space, and most of the Master Technologists you have in HP are just similar to us in background, and they can basically work across the depth and breadth of any operating system, as well as application. Doesn't matter if it's Oracle, SAP, Informix, Sybase, etc.
Absolutely, and of course, as technology goes, there are technologists that are excited about certain branches of technology, like networking, TCP stacks, and they're very great at that. And of course, they're on our team, and we go to them anytime we have an issue that we have a suspicion of an issue in the TCP stack.
So, you mentioned that people are excited about some things more than others. What are the things that get you two guys really excited about technology?
Performance, I think, performance would be a big one. Anytime these large corporations call up, and in that dire moment when they've, their problem or business is being impacted, it's exhilarating to go out there and find that problem and actually be able to correct it.
Yeah, to answer your question a bit more directly, in the sense that my brother and I get exhilarated, or a lot of adrenaline junkie, I guess if you want to call it that, in the sense that when a situation occurs and goes awry, and I'm talking about the bad things of the world, and it's inevitable, it will happen, your system will crash, those things do happen, and those are kind of the things that Chris and I really strive on, is isolating what caused it and mitigate that business risk by restoring confidence in the solution and getting it back online in a very short order of time.
So if somebody wanted to become a master technician like you guys are, what would be the path to get there? Because I mean, this sounds like it's highly specialized, and you probably have to be reasonably smart.
Reasonably smart, yes, sure, that does help. And having a background in the technology space. First off, you got to be excited about it. The technology is, exactly. You got to have a passion for it, and it's changing at an exponential rate. The technology is growing, it's expounding, you have data sprawl, and keeping up with even the technologies for HP. Of course, we have data center management applications, you got cloud computing, cloud software, cloud management. And it's being able, if the young people today going out there, going after this the technology background, you got to be able to essentially, how would you describe it?
Well, I would add to that point and say the fact that a lot of the technicians out there have to have a passion for a given component, and though my brother and I focus our passion in basically C code logic, kernel structures, and getting into performance of disk I/O in your enterprise storage arrays, there's others of us that hold the same title that are passionate about environmentals. They go after the big data center sprawls and the heat consumption, that they know every incantation of, good one is solar winds. When you get into Colorado, the high elevations, you think that's a rarity in the movies only. It actually happens in real life. We have to worry about solar flares. And there's other guys that are just as passionate about networking. They focus strictly in the network space of, whether it be FCIP, IP, gigabit ether, and those type of areas.
So we talked about the reactive nature of the things that you work on, but what about the proactive? Like what do you do to help people design systems that scale?
We have solution architects and solution engineers. I mean, our background is also designing these solutions. I mean, debugging the solution is one thing, but you take that expertise and you grow that expertise and looking at how to best design for the future. Design for, to prevent the catastrophic outages. You want to mitigate those type of risks. So we go into solution architects and solution engineering.
So I think a key point to what Chris just stated is we see some of the world's largest environments and we see firsthand those problems that are basically occurring due to data sprawl. And with that knowledge, we help our solution architects and in our sales force basically design a solution that will meet the customer's requirements so that when they actually sell the solution, it actually meets those customers' expectations. Yep. And that right out of the gate, the customer's happy versus having a solution that doesn't meet their business requirements. SLAs start to fall short and tensions start to rise. We do our best to help leverage our skill sets and help our solution architects mitigate that risk.
So it sounds like you guys are both active on the political side of the technology problem as well as the actual technology details.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we get to, we get to sit in those boardrooms when the applications or the production did not go the way it was planned. But of course, we work with the teams and work with the design architects and mitigate that by creating a solution that will work.
I think it's a key component to understand that no matter what situation you have, whatever database that you deploy, eventually things will go awry. And the thing that everybody needs to keep in mind is, do you have the trusted advisor that will help you address that problem so that you can mitigate the business risk and resolve the problem in a timely manner?